And so all of a sudden I went from this person who was stress eating to someone who was now fasting and in control of what they were eating regardless of how I was feeling. What's going on, everybody? Schuyler Diehm here, men's fitness coach, and today we are doing something a little bit different. I wanted to take a moment to break down the process that we teach our clients that allows them to consistently lose weight without starving themselves, without going crazy, without low energy, and without doing that yo-yo, right? Making it a sustainable lifestyle. Now, I've been blessed enough to be in this industry coaching people for a little bit over a year now, but in my own fitness journey, experiencing this for over 12 years at this point. And I've had a heck of a journey, and I've seen a lot of plans that work, and I've seen way more that don't work. You know, there's a reason why almost every single one of our clients that come through our program who implement see success. You know, every single person who implements sees success, but there's a reason why the people who do come in have a higher chance of implementing than many other programs out there. And so in this video, I really wanted to share our strategy with fitness and weight loss, why it's so effective, and how you can use it to see incredible results in your own life. So I'm just going to preface this by saying I'm not going to go into full depth in this video. If you want our complete training where we really dive deep, make sure to click the link in the description of this video for that training. You can sign up, it's totally free, and it's basically going to lay everything out that we talk about today, except in much more specific detail. And again, these are strategies that have allowed our clients such as Jack, such as Bob, such as Lori, who have been struggling for 10, 15, 20 years to lose weight and keep it off, to what almost feels like effortlessly drop weight. Now, of course, nothing's effortless, but compared to a lot of other fitness strategies out there, I really believe what we're about to talk about today is a complete game changer in the industry, and it's something that not many people know about. So to share, I'd like to tell a little bit about my story and intertwine about kind of how I found each one of these parts of our system. Because what we approach is from a three-pronged standpoint. We have three specific pillars of what we teach. And so when I was probably 12 or 13 years old, I was not into the fitness world. You know, I love my snacks. When I was younger, I would work out with my dad every once in a while, but I wasn't worried about eating healthy. I always wanted to just stay up late and play video games. And so when I hit middle school, I got really insecure. I was overweight. I did not like my body. And when it came to fitness, I had no idea how to exercise or how to eat. And I remember there were a few key moments that allowed me to kind of make that transition. But the most important was starting to go to the gym with a friend. You know, the time that I had to work out with him, I was age 13 or 14 at this point, was the accountability I needed to start staying consistent. And, you know, for the first few years even, I didn't see that great of results. But because I stuck with it, because I continuously failed over and over, lifting weights turned into something that, number one, was a massive passion of mine, but number two, and more importantly, gave me awesome results. You know, in probably 3 or 4 years, I went from being overweight to having an incredible body. I went from being insecure about my body to feeling great taking my shirt off. And most importantly, I went from this person who had no idea about fitness, exercise, health, or anything like that to what I really believe is an expert. And so that's really why we get into this first pillar of fitness. Now, what I teach specifically is a combination of a little bit of cardio, but more focused on lifting weights or even just doing body weight training. And the reason we focus on this so much, whereas most typical weight loss plans tend to focus on cardio, is that weightlifting over time actually speeds up your metabolism naturally. Meaning you can lay around and be eating the same amount of calories that you are today, but be burning much more because your muscle is basically burning those calories. And of course, lifting weights is great for endorphins, it's great for being confident about your body, and it's great for seeing very big changes quickly. And so one of my favorite things, you know, whether you're a complete beginner, like it's not about going to the gym for an hour and a half. When I go to the gym, I'm there for about 45 minutes every single workout. When I customize bodyweight workouts for my clients, it's usually only 20 or so minutes, but we do it in a way that's effective and where the body basically has to respond in a very positive way. And if we couple this with what we're about to talk about, it is an extremely powerful system for weight loss. So fast forward a little bit to while I was in college and after I graduated. Now, at this point in my life, from the outside, I looked incredible, right? I had an amazing body, great set of abs, great arms, great chest. But internally, I just felt awful. You know, I was tired all the time. I had really bad anxiety to the point where I would physically get sick. Like my stomach could not hold on to food when I experienced anxiety. And I think what made it worse at that point was I thought I was doing everything right? I was eating the chicken, broccoli, and rice. I was going to the gym. I was taking the supplements. I was doing everything that I was told was health. And again, there wasn't really one moment that everything changed, but there was that period where I started to learn more about specific ingredients in food. And I also started to pay more attention to how my body responded to certain foods. We're always told this food is healthy, this food is not. This food is healthy, this food is not. And it's never really shown that there are gray areas with foods, that depending on who we are, depending on our body can respond very well to a specific type of food, and it can respond not so well to a food that maybe most people actually say is healthy. And so when I started being more mindful and aware of what I was putting in my body, it took years of making mistakes, of learning about these ingredients, of figuring out how to eat for my body. But when I made that shift and I found out those few things to pay attention to, everything changed for me. I went from someone who was always tired to starting waking up at 5:30 in the morning to start my day. I went from someone who could not keep anything in his stomach when he was anxious to not having thrown up from nerves since I made that shift. And then most importantly, I went from this confused person who thought he was being healthy but still felt terrible to really deeply understanding health, to living by a few fundamental rules that allow me across any platform to know if something is healthy or not. And so this is the second pillar of what we teach, mindfulness and awareness. And basically what this is paying attention to the foods we put in our body, and then more importantly, paying attention to how our body responds to them. Just a quick story, for a few weeks I was on a date kick. I was loving those dates, the fruit. And after a few days, I started noticing around 2-3 p.m. I would get exhausted. And this was when I was eating healthy, I was paying attention to everything I was consuming. And at 3 p.m., it would hit and I would just have to lay on the floor. It didn't matter what I was doing. I would have to close my eyes and take a 10-minute nap. I was just that exhausted. And if I wasn't being mindful, I would have just, gotten more coffee or chalked it up to maybe being a little sick or run down or had to rest. But I started to pick up, hey, maybe it's something that I'm eating. And so I started playing around a little bit, started removing some things, started adding some things. And the day I didn't eat dates, my energy was fine. And I did it the next day, my energy was fine. And I realized my body was responding in a way to the dates where a month ago it was responding great, but for some reason those started negatively impacting me. Maybe just spiking my blood sugar too much, crashing it, and causing me to want to take a nap. And so this is really why what we teach is so fundamental, is because everyone is different. We take something where dates are supposedly healthy, they're supposedly great for you, but they don't respond well to my specific body, which means that I can now customize specific foods off of how they make me feel, rather than listening to this guru or that guru or anyone that says that something is healthy or that it should be eaten. So that's mindfulness and awareness. The problem, once I figured that out, is I actually made a shift into an accounting position where I was insanely busy. So I was working busy season. It was like 9 a.m. till 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at night. So it was over 12-hour days during the week. And, the company provided us food, and I was just basically finding myself really struggling with eating. And so at that point, because I was so busy, I started stress eating. I had a lot of going on, so if there were snacks at work, I would constantly be snacking on them. I would get as much food as I could for dinner. Throughout that process, I was consistently trying to fight that feeling, like trying to cut out my favorite foods and stay on track, and I was really struggling with that. And then overall, I was starting to put on a few pounds. I have pictures from back then where I was just, I had a gut, I had a stomach, and even though I was in shape, I had the muscles, I had a layer of fat covering them. And this time in my life is where everything truly started to change for me. So I stumbled on a concept called fasting. Now, you may have heard of something called intermittent fasting. What we teach is slightly different, but fasting basically have this idea that there are times when you eat and there are times when you don't. And if you strategically create those times that you don't eat, you can drop weight more effectively. And so from this point on, I became obsessed. I started with 12-hour fasts, and then 16, and then 20, and then I did my first 24, and then I did a 48, and then a 72, and I did a 120 fast at one point. And to someone who's looking in from the outside, you may think that's absolutely insane, and you couldn't even imagine going without food for 24 hours. But the beauty of fasting, if done right, is you're not hungry during it. I can't tell you how many fasts I've done. I do a 24-hour fast every single week, and it is just so incredible for my body, and my body responds in such an amazing way. My mental cognition, my energy, how I feel. Because I do it strategically, I don't have to cut out my favorite foods. I feel good, and I'm able to enjoy my life. And so all of a sudden, I went from this person who was stress eating to someone who was now fasting and in control of what they were eating, regardless of how I was feeling. I went from trying all the right things to do to lose weight, like cutting out my favorite foods or feeling like I was restricting myself, to literally being able to eat whatever I want on the weekends. This past weekend we had bourbon, we had wine, we had steak, we had pasta, we had cookies and brownies. I truly get to enjoy this stuff because of the strategic timing of my meals and because of implementing fasting. And most importantly, I went from having that layer of fat over me to probably being in the best shape of my life at this point. And so this right here is really the fundamental core of what we teach. It allows us to lose weight without killing ourselves at the gym, without feeling like we're starving or tired, without cutting out our favorite foods. And it's not just this diet or this fad. It's something that's truly, truly healthy. Think about in the old days when we had to go out and get our food. There was times of feasting and there was times of fasting. And our body has now learned to be feasting all the time, but if we can bring it back into that state where it fasts and it adapts, now we're dealing with better health, we're dealing with better energy, better mental clarity, hormone optimization, faster metabolism, and a long, long list of a bunch of other benefits. And this is where we really see that impact. You know, the beauty is we've had clients that have come in from all walks of life. We've had people who are retired and have lost the weight but still have a gut. We've had people who are entrepreneurs and have struggled with stress eating and emotional eating for 30 plus years who've been able to make a shift. We've had people who have no idea how to eat healthy and no clue what health is drop 25 pounds. And it's really all because of how this system is formulated and how we deliver it, right? It's not just about the fast. It's not just about the mindfulness. It's not just about the fitness. It's about the consistent accountability, and it's about strategically maneuvering through those obstacles to pull the best out of you. So if you're looking to get involved with this mission, how can you help? Number one, subscribe to the channel. We're putting out new videos every single week, and our goal is to inform you about the true meaning of health. Number two, check out the training in the description of this video. That specific training is going to break down our process on a very, very detailed level so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You know the effectiveness, you know how it can help you. And then number three, and most importantly, reach out if you need help. I've had the pleasure of working with multiple clients who have had very, very interesting histories and who have made impressive transformations just by implementing these three things. Not going on some strict diet, not restricting themselves, not hating going out to eat or being around other people, but having a plan that allows them to stay calm and in control and feel confident that their weight loss goals are what's going to come. So with that being said, I'm curious if you have any specific questions about this process. If you have any concerns, anything at all, definitely leave me a comment. But of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel, check out that training, and of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.